As we do, as I look in my Bible, there are multiple times here where the words I am are used. Look with me just real quick. I've got them underlined in my Bible, but in verse number 4, Moses speaking, it says, and he said, "Here am I." That am I. Now, both times Moses was replying to God, he uses that statement. In verse number 11, Moses said unto God, "Who am I?" And he said, "Here am I, and who am I?" But when God is speaking, verse 6, God said, "I am the God of thy father." Verse number 8, "I am come down to deliver." Verse number 14, "I am that I am." And we just see how, isn't it ironic that God's man is using the same words that God was using, just in a different order. And his response was not that I am anything, it was that I am not anything. It's here I am, God, you're talking, I'm right here. And then who am I? I'm nobody. But God, when he says I am, God is telling everybody that he's God. And so, we just need to remember that we need to be available to the Lord, but we also just need to be a nobody. Not thinking that we're anything special and just recognizing how great our God is. But in these Bible studies, we've been looking at the leadership lessons from the life of Moses. And as we look at these leadership lessons, we look first of all on the leadership lesson as that we taught last week was leaders are born, leadership is learned. Leaders are born, yes. And we've all heard the statement. We've probably all used it. Man, that's a born leader. That person there, they just have it all together. And sure, leaders are born, but leadership is learned. It's something that we need to learn. That means that all of us and every person is a leader in some aspect. Just think about your kids. And you can see leadership just within your own family. And then you, maybe in a Sunday school class or on a bus route or just in ministry, you look around and you see people sort of pushed into a position of leadership, and then you get to see that leadership grow, and it's just exciting to see how that works. But this thing about leadership is something that all of us need to continually learn. It's something that we don't just wake up with one day and say, "Wow, I know how to lead." It doesn't work that way. Leadership is something that is learned. And leadership is something that is a continual process. Nobody arrives. Brother Tracy has given me some leadership books. Here he is. He's been in business for all these years. And he still goes to places where he can learn more about leadership. He's still reading books about it. And, the same thing with all of us. We need to be growing in our areas of leadership. And all of us have different areas in that leadership. It may not be that you are the CEO of a company, but maybe you're a husband. And you need to have some things that you need to be growing in that area. A parent, we need to be growing in those areas. And it changes. It changes. The leadership requirements change as the seasons of life change. And so all of us have areas of leadership. And as I spoke to the staff earlier, this week is it's just a staff training week. And so this week I was teaching, and I think was it yesterday? Leading yourself. The hardest person that you will ever, the hardest leadership obstacle that you and I will ever face is leading ourselves. Because if we can't lead ourselves, we will flounder in trying to lead somebody else. So But as we look here, last week we looked at leadership. Leaders are born, but leadership is learned. Tonight, when we look into the life of Moses, I want you to see leaders are linear. Leaders are linear. Now, when you think about linear, linear is a mathematical term. And I'm looking at my father-in-law, and he's trying to figure out where I'm going with this message. He's a professor of math at universities, and so he has that mindset. But when you think about that word, I wrote down what the definition of linear is. It is progressing from one stage to another in a single series of steps or sequential. You know, what it's saying is leaders are going from one place to the next. Leaders are moving. They're not stagnant. You know, if we are stagnant or we are fixed or secured, we're not leading. We are doing what is called managing. We are not taking anybody anywhere because we are not going anywhere. We are just managing what we can oversee from a fixed point. Now, leadership is sequential. Leadership is moving. Leadership is, this is where I'm going. And it is the ability to create in the heart of the follower the desire to go with you. But if we are going nowhere, we are leading no one. So leaders are